Hello and welcome to my 59th water review for YouTube. Today is Friday, March 22nd, 2019, and this week we're going back to regular old water. I will be reviewing Labrador Source Spring Water. Now, Labrador Source is a Canadian company and is Canada's largest, oldest, and supposedly most trusted direct delivery water company. You got to stay away from all those untrustworthy direct delivery water companies out there. There seem to be a lot, apparently. Now, what is interesting about Labrador Source is this means that you can order their water online and they will have their own trucks deliver the water to your office or to your home or your business or whatever. So it's kind of an interesting business model. On their website, which is very nicely designed, they had a small amount of information about their company, and a little interesting fact about this bottle, at least, is this Labrador Source has no source in Labrador. The product, which was originally called the Laurentian Water Company, was founded in 1882 in Montreal, Quebec, not Labrador, and the source of this water is in La Chute, Quebec, not in Labrador, and I would assume that this bottle probably isn't made in Labrador as well. So this Labrador Source has no source in Labrador. On their website, they actually had more information about their corporate social responsibility, and they actually had a whole page dedicated to this. This was great to see on their website. They had a ton of information about their environmental initiatives, their social initiatives, and their ethical initiatives as well. And so they talked about the fact that they only take from the sources in a sustainable way. Their bottle is 100% plastic, as it mentions on the bottle itself. And they also reuse a lot of the larger bottles for their water tanks. So a lot of good social initiatives from Labrador Source, and you can check those all out at their website in the link in the description. Now moving on to this 100% recyclable bottle. And plastics are really not great. The plastic used in the bottle is very crinkly and completely deformed. There's no reshaping this. When it sits on the table, it's kind of on a slant because it's deformed so much. The cap itself is very small and cheap feeling, and so it makes it hard to really get a good hold on it, especially when you're trying to open it for the first time. And with that whole deformity, it makes it likely you're going to spill it on yourself when you're trying to open up the cap. And the label itself is also made from a cheap kind of papery material that's very poorly secured onto the bottle. However, the design of the label is actually quite nice and is probably the most premium part of this entire bottle. It has this lovely graphic on the front with a very nice classy font that they've chosen here with the nice mountains. They have a nice little logo in the middle. It says Proudly Canadian on the top, and on the back, even better, is they include a tiny, tiny, tiny little mineral table and an even smaller nutrition facts table as well. These are all about the size of one finger segment on your hand. So they were able to jam in those two essential tables that I really like to see on these bottles. Now, moving on from this kind of disappointing bottle design and materials, we'll be moving on to taste. On the nutrition facts table, it says that the total dissolved solids is 205 ppm, and some of this goes to sodium, a little bit to magnesium and calcium, and a little bit to sulfate as well. So it's a relatively low TDS water, and I'm expecting that the nose is probably going to be pretty neutral overall. So on the nose, it's very neutral. You don't really get any notes at all. There's really not enough of any of the minerals to give off a certain scent or anything. So really on the nose, it's very neutral. Now on the taste. On the taste, the mouthfeel is a little soft, and I think that I don't know for sure if this is true, but with these cheap plastic bottles, I find that the cheap plastic imparts some mouthfeel and taste. I don't know if this also has to do with just the fact that they're not really, the water they're using doesn't have the greatest mineral content, but I always notice that the waters with these cheap plastic bottles tend to almost impart a plasticky taste on them. You also do get a little bit of a chalkiness to it from the calcium and the magnesium, but overall the taste is fairly neutral. I do worry about bringing this out in the heat. At this room temperature it's all right, but I would assume in the heat that cheap plastic would probably leach more of that really not great taste into the water. So moving on to final score, and for company history and interestingness, Labrador Source's website is really good. They have a good amount of information about the company, but for some reason they have way more information about their corporate social responsibility than they do about their company. So really a great website, but I would have liked to see a bit more information about the product itself, maybe the source, and a bit more information about the company history as well. So in terms of company history and interestingness, they get 1.75 out of 2.5 points. In terms of bottle design and materials, the bottle design and materials, despite it being a 100% recycled plastic bottle, it's really cheap feeling. The plastics are very poor quality, and the label itself is not very well secured to the bottle. The label itself does save it a bit with this lovely design and the fact that it includes both nutrition facts and mineral tables on the back. So in terms of bottle design and materials, unfortunately I'm only able to give them 1 out of 2.5 points. In terms of taste and nose, the taste and nose are fairly neutral. I do worry about, as I said, bringing this out in the heat because it might really impact the whole taste of the water, but as it is right now, it has a very neutral nose and a fairly neutral taste as well, so I'm giving it 2.5 out of 4 points. And in terms of value, this bottle I bought as a single bottle at a convenience store, so obviously it's going to be a bit more expensive. I paid $1.29 for this. However, even the 24 packs that Labrador Source sells on their website are still anywhere from $4.49 upwards to $7, which is a lot compared to some of the store brands, as well as Nestle Pure Life, which you can find at the grocery store for a couple bucks for a 24 pack. So this sits kind of in the middle ground between more premium waters and cheaper waters. However, with this cheaper plastic bottle, it's really hard to justify the price. I think if it was maybe $3 or $4, that would be a better deal, but at $5 to $7, it's really hard to justify this price. If you're looking for maybe a smaller company or you really don't like Nestle Pure Life, then I would recommend going with this because it does have a more neutral taste to it and it has more corporate social responsibility. I know Nestle has a few ethical and sustainability issues that they've had brought up in the past. So if you want to support maybe a Canadian company, then I'd go with Labrador Source, but overall I would probably just go for a more expensive water. If you're going to be spending $7 on a 24 pack, you might as well, buy a Brita filter or maybe buy a more expensive bottle of water. So I hope you all enjoyed my review for this week. They get a 5.75 out of 10 points, which is quite good. That's certainly better than Nestle Pure Life and some of the other cheaper waters I've done. But really, it's the cheap plastic bottle and the poor pricing structure. I really think it should be a bit cheaper based on the product design and materials. But overall, I hope you all enjoyed my review for this week. Please like, comment, and subscribe down below. And I will see you on Monday for another food review. This one's going to be a good one. It's going to be my largest comparison video I've ever done on this channel. So I hope you all enjoy it. And I will see you next Monday. Thank you.